Hello, hello.
Oh, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you today, Dad?
I'm good.
Good. Good. We're all good. Hi, Tracy. Tracy Walker Bush is here. Hazel is here.
Yeah, there we go.
My camera's fixed. Like now it's like, I don't know. I feel like I look kind of dark now though. Hold on.
What was the matter with your camera?
I don't know. I had the wrong I don't know. Tony fixed it. I had the wrong settings for my camera. Okay. I hate looking at myself on screen. All right. Hello, Michelle from Snowy, Ohio. Hi,
She's
Maureen.
here.
Yep. Sherry.
Sherry's here. There we go. Coming in.
Great. So we got a lot to talk about today. So as always,
I got a list. I have
you
a
have
list.
a list?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to get started?
List.
Do you want to get started?
We can get started. Tell me about Land Rover. I was talking to Teresa. Had a bunch of people show up at the booth. A lot of good sessions. So that's a good thing. Weather was pretty good for them. I think it was a little chilly, but that's okay.
Yeah, Land Rover was great. The team had a really good time. We met with a lot of people. We treated some dogs. I don't know if Tony could put up some pictures. It was just it was a great experience. We love going out there. We love meeting people and seeing everyone and getting to demo the machine. There we go. There we go. Look at the dog getting a treatment from the Spiro. That's great. Go. Yeah, so it was just really fun. And that's one of the booths near us had this pony. So the pony came over, got a treatment. So that was fun. There's Teresa. So it was just a really great experience. We treated lots of animals. We got to talk to a lot of different people. We also gave away a machine to one person who came up to the booth. Deb McNabb is now, she won, believe it was a semi-tin at Land Rover. So it was just a really great event. We had fun. If you guys were there, if you saw us, if you took any pictures, please put it on social media, tag our business at MagnaWave PMF Corporate, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, hashtag MagnaWave Love. Send us anything that you got if you were there and you saw us. Tracy says Land Rover went very well. Angela, hello from Ontario.
There you go.
So I think we should give something away today, Dad. Don't you think?
Well, yeah. What do you want to give away?
I don't know. What do you think we should give away? Should we give away maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll give away a Spiro Click. I don't know. Maybe we will.
That kind of went through my mind.
Yeah. So we'll give away a Spiro Click today, which is our newest machine, package, our newest machine package, which is a hands-free MagnaWave experience, which is a game changer. So we're going to give this away. The way that we pick a winner is by interaction. So commenting, asking us questions. The more you do that, we will pick a number at the end of the show. And then we will interact with that. We'll find that number on our list of people because we are feeding in from Facebook and YouTube. Hi, Missy. She's on YouTube. So if you are watching this on any of our social media channels, you're seeing your channel, but we're seeing everybody. So we'll pick a number of, the stream that's coming in for us. And then if that's your comment, then you win. So make sure two things, that you ask lots of questions and you interact, as well as put your name at the end of your comment. Some people we can see, some people we can't. So make sure that you do that. So Tony, can you put up some pictures and some video or just whatever you got of the Spiro Click so people can see it? There it is. There it is on the horse. So you can move that attachment. It's got a battery pack in it. So it's easy to, it charges and it can run right there. You can have the horse in the stall. Do we have any other ones? It's really great. There we go. Look, I like this one.
There's Teresa.
There's Teresa. I like it better on the darker horse. Will the Spiro Click fit on a draft? Do you have any video of it on a horse in a stall? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm going to work on a draft horse. That's not an issue.
Yeah, we have some videos of it. If you go to the Spiro Click page, Tony, if there's not one, maybe we could put a video up. I shot several videos this week. Hi. So yes, we'll give away a Spiro Click today. What is hands-free? That means no hands. Look, Mom, no hands. You don't actually have to hold the coil on the horse. It actually rests across the top line. You can do it across the back. You could do it in the front, and it's powered with a battery, so you don't actually have to plug.
Well, there we lost her for a second. The question was how long the battery will last. I think we did it. I think we ran it for 7 hours.
Yeah, and that was power with the Spiro. So, you're not going to do that. I mean, we've had days, if you're only doing a couple treatments a day, it'll last for a while. You just want to make sure you charge it in between, every couple days. Do the loops attached to the holder? The loop, there's only one loop. It's an XL wave wing that comes with this machine. And there's a strap at the top and you can feed it right through there. So yeah, the battery life, again, asking about that battery life, it'll last seven hours plus, depending on your settings. And it's excellent.
Easy to we ran it all day. We put it on the device and pretty much ran it all day. And the battery did not run down. I mean, it ran down, but it didn't fail or discharge in that length of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. It can just go for hours on hours. So, but you don't need to do hours on hours worth of sessions. So with this, you would do, your regular 30, 40-minute body work. And then you could use a larger machine and do the legs. You can also take the Spiro out of the holder and actually you'd have to purchase it separately from the bundle. But you could buy a large loop or a butterfly loop and actually treat the legs of the horse using the Spiro. You can do that. Let's see. So Tim and I talked yesterday. So I'm listening to old office hours, July 2019 at the moment. I'm noticing words that we can't say being said. When did everything change? And tips on alternative words, treat, heal, help the body heal itself. Okay. So Tim, there was a time where MagnaWave marketed to people. And that was, we've since split our company into two different companies, and we actually have a human line that's launching this year, and we have a MagnaWave, which we market to people. And so a lot of that is, focused around when there was people involved in 2019. But also, like, we're not doctors. You're not a doctor. So you just want to stay away from saying that you're healing or treating anything that is a specific indication. So we like to say things like your session and sensitivity and, the areas of sensitivity and wellness. And so that we talk a lot more about that in the certification program.
And that goes back to, as she said, as more and more machines came into the marketplace and more competitors, if you will, doesn't make any difference. But when you have a lot of people out there, either using it on themselves or using it on animals or whatever the situation may be, there's a point in time that someone may say, well, you're practicing medicine. And so it became very apparent, and the FDA sent some letters to various companies. They had us go through our website and clean up things that they felt we were not cleared to say. And so we just began a push within MagnaWave to alter the words that are used, so we're not doing anything. So someone could say, well, Tim's practicing veterinary medicine, or Tim is doing this. What you say to somebody, I mean, there was a whole time when we first started when we had websites, and I would not put stuff on the website because I couldn't say that. And so people would say, well, can you send that to me? I'd say, no, I'll talk to you about it, but I'm not going to send you a piece of paper, because then someone could take that piece of paper and say, well, Pat's saying this, or Pat's practicing medicine. So it just became very important to clean up or adjust the wording so it's clear and not putting us at risk about anything.
Right. That's why it's so important to use our marketing materials. I mean, if you are like, why reinvent the wheel? Like, if you're going to purchase a machine and you're interested in, using our marketing materials and building a business, like, we have everything that you need. We have trifolds, we have flyers, we have videos, we have all of the things with all of this stuff already vetted. If you're making up a flyer yourself or doing a trifold yourself, you're running the risk of saying something, which has happened, saying something that may upset, a vet board or whatever. So you just want to make sure that you're doing what's right. We do have a bunch of questions about the Spiro Click. So, okay. Does it take the same attachments as the other MW machines? Okay. Let me be very clear. The Spiro itself, the machine that's in the carry case. Tony, can you put the picture of the brown horse up again? The one, there we go. So that machine that's right there in front of you, that machine can come out, okay? And you can attach other attachments. 100%, you cannot use other attachments with that machine in that case, okay? By doing that, you are running the risk of the lead hanging down, causing issues. So you are only supposed to use the XL Wave wings with this package, the ones that come with the Spiro Click, not your regular XL Wave wings. These are special XL Wave wings. Now, if you remove the Spiro from the carry case there, or the saddlebag, for lack of a better term, the Click package, then you can then plug in any 2-plug attachment that you have and treat the legs of the horse separately. You don't want to use a splitter. Somebody asked about that, and treat the legs at the same time. Absolutely not. You would want to use a different machine and do that. The reason for that is that the horse, you don't want to trip up an animal. And if it's plugged into there, like, the best thing for you to do is have a totally separate machine to do the legs. You could essentially use the splitter and have 2 XL Wave wings, but they would need to be the 3 or 4 foot XL Wave wings that come with the Spiro Click. So yes, you can use the splitter, but only with the XL Wave wings that come with the Spiro Click. And you can take it out and use your regular attachments, or purchase other attachments and do those treatments separately. You just don't want to hook anything to that to the Spiro Click package other than the attachments that come with it.
And basically the reason for that, the Wave wings have a 3-foot cable on the end of them. We don't want 12 feet of cable that you have to be tying up and putting up on top of the horse and moving it around. Just imagine you drop it, the horse gets startled. Now the horse gets it wrapped around his leg. And so now, none of that is any fun, and it's going to damage the machine. It could, potentially put the animal at risk. So we recommend and say that you use this size, these Wave wings with the device. Take the device out of the saddlebag, and then you can do whatever you want, use whatever attachments you want. What I think is really cool is that you could put this on, treat the shoulders, treat the neck, treat the pole, treat the hips, whatever you want to do. Use your other machine and treat the feet. Use your other machine and do the hocks at the same time. So it's hands-free, that you can be getting more distance out of your time with 2 devices and be able to do more. As I was talking the other day, I answered some questions about versatility. This allows you to be very versatile in what you're doing.
Right. That's it. I mean, and here's the deal. We did the Rent-to-Rent program in 2020 for our practitioners, which was an excellent program to allow them to get more rental devices under their belt for their business. This is the ultimate rental device for you. If you are looking to bring on a rental device into your business, and you want to be able to, because there are horses that need everyday sessions. And so if they need, because they have an issue, right? There's an issue that happened. You want them to come every day, but you're full. Your book is full. This happens. I talk to people every day. I'm too busy. I have so much business in my area. I don't have time to go every single day. Well, then you rent the machine to your customer, and then you easily show them how to do it. They put the horse in the stall. They know exactly how to place the coil. They turn it on, and then they take it off and they hang it up, and then they charge their battery back and they do it. I mean, perfect. Okay. A lot of people excited about this.
It's exciting. There was a question I saw. Let me see if I can find it. Can the MagnaWave help with kidney stones? The short answer is, of course. The troubling answer is depends on the size. If it's a very painful pass of a kidney stone and you don't need stimulation, then it's going to be painful. Of course, you'd find that out very quickly. But if it's a smaller kidney stone and you want to work the area of wherever the kidney stone is, the client or the animal, whatever the situation may be, and here I'm choosing my words, but it will help. It can help. I've seen those types of things occur to where there is benefit to that. Size is certainly the issue that we have to deal with. If it's too big and they're going to have to basically surgically remove it or use a laser to break it up or something like that because of the size of the canal that it's trying to pass through.
Okay, that's a great answer. We have, let's see. Tim also asked, okay, we talked about pricing yesterday a little bit, Dad. I talked to Tim about pricing. He's asking, would a spot session be more of a charge by minute or set charge like you would do the body session? I do a set charge. I would just say $25 and I could do that any area. I would not do by the minute because, again, depending on the area, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. Like, I would just set a spot charge of $25 or $30. Again, you can always decrease. And then he asked any recommendations for liability insurance for new business. Yes, Tim, in the practitioner portal we have all of that. So if you haven't done your certification, or if you have, please log into the practitioner portal. We do have liability insurance recommendations right there with links and everywhere you go. Does the Spiro have another case available for it? That's from Gretchen Davis. No, not right now. The Sphero does not have another case that's available for it. There was at another time that the Sphero was in a different case, and it will be changing a little bit, but it'll stay within the same vein of the case that's in right now. So in a few weeks, months, it'll change, but it'll be the same shape. It's just going to be a little bit different. No difference in functionality. There won't be like a big change to this machine. We're just going a different route to where we're getting the supply for that specific case to fit in the click.
Gretchen's asking, will it break it up? Talking about the kidney stones. It's not going to break up the kidney stone. Typically they'll use high-powered lasers or something like that to disintegrate or break up the kidney stones that they're dealing with.
Okay, Chris of Palsphere says, Elaine, what will the continuing education options be for certification since MagnaCon will not be option this year? Good question, Kristen. So we have, Teresa is putting together a regulatory class that we will be going over. So you'll take that. It'll all be done online. And we're focusing on, just new things that we've learned over the last few years. I'm shooting a video for you guys on some stuff that I've learned with my wellness club. And then we're also doing a small animal and large animal in the same vein. So it's going to be a very specific topic on how to improve your results using MagnaWave. So getting better results in a new way. This is a new way that we've learned to use the machine, as well as regulatory and, ways that you can keep up with the regulatory in your area, what to know, what to say, very in the same vein of what Tim is doing, just like a refresher course on that. So those will be the continuing education. We have 2 or 3 specialists coming in that will be interviewed for those classes, and then you'll take your quiz. So it's just really good information that we probably would have highlighted at MagnaCon this year, and we will highlight even more in depth next year.
The question's asked, what is the Gauss of the Sphero Click or the Sphero? Basically, it falls within the constraints of the FEI when you're talking about animals. With the wave wings, it is less than 1,000 Gauss. There are attachments that you can use on that will produce more Gauss than that. But from the standpoint of its use and with the wave
click
wing,
package is less than 1,000.
Yes, it is less than 1,000 Gauss. Let's just say with the wings, it's 500 Gauss, just for conversation's sake, just to pick a number. And that is about, 10
500 times stronger than the Beamer.
Correct.
I mean, because the Beamer is like 5 milligauss, 10 milligauss. So that's like comparing centimeters, to inches or feet.
Correct.
Like totally different education there. And again, the horse can feel it. You're not going to get a bunch of movement. It's not going to be like do 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 do. This is not to replace a practitioner. This is wellness sessions. This is perfect for the renter. This is perfect if you have a whole bunch of horses you want to do in a day, and you could do the body and then do the feet, go do the feet on another one, move it over. I mean, it's just excellent for that.
Correct.
Angel, are you guys traveling to Canada this year? Angel, our plan was to do a little bit more traveling this year, but the best laid plans. We are opening up our MagnaWave Europe has launched. We're going to do an office hours with Gerald shortly soon. So we have a distributor in Europe. They have all the same things as MagnaWave. If you are interested or have a friend in Europe, go to MagnaWave Europe on Facebook, where the website will launch soon. So we're kind of focusing on finishing and tying that up. And we decided that we needed to move to a new building. So when we were supposed to be moving, we've decided, no, we just want to be more in Louisville in this giant building we're moving into. So that means that it's been really hard for my dad and I to leave and go do some of these things, because we are working on transitioning our entire manufacturing facility. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. We manufacture every single machine that we have. We design and manufacture every single piece of equipment ourselves. So what that means is that, we take pride in this. It's all done here in Louisville, made in the USA. And so we're working really hard to expand our facility and expand our team. And so that is the long answer to the question of no, we are not coming to Canada right now, but in the fall or the winter, it definitely could be on the calendar, on the agenda. We'll let you know.
Michelle asked the question, would you ever consider a redesign of the mat guard so it's not made out of wood? Done.
Yes, it's already done.
we've done that.
Yeah, if you buy a new Mac card right now, it's already done. So the new Mac cards that we haven't done a lot of talking about it, but the new Zoom boxes and the new Mac cards are not made out of wood anymore.
The gauss for each attachment.
No.
By device. I don't know if we have that published anywhere.
We do have all of that information, but we do not share it because it's proprietary. So if I were to tell everybody if I was a chef and I told everybody all of my recipes all the time and gave them exact measurements, that would not be great. So we do hold some of our settings as proprietary. We do have ranges for each attachment, but I want to tell you a secret. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Gauss numbers don't matter. Do not get stuck on this like Gauss number situation. All of our machines are high power. If you are obsessing over like this coil puts out this much and this coil puts out this much, it doesn't matter. Every horse, every animal, every body, every physical body out there takes a different setting based on where they are, and it's about feeling it. It's about the way comfort in the feel. It is the Gauss numbers only matter to regulatory agencies, and in reality, as long as they fall within the safe range, which all of our machines do, it's really about the feel of them, knowing every single attachment Gauss readout. Plus, I don't know if you guys know this, and Dad, you can back me up on this, right? Like the Gauss numbers actually change. And one of the reasons that we had to send our machines away to do testing based on the magnetic field of the earth, of Wi-Fi, of where, so much stuff affects outside human stuff affects the Gauss numbers. So we actually had to find a facility that was like, it's like NASA and this facility on Earth that have these completely, these rooms that are just completely blocked away from any magnetic fields, no human interference, where there's like a robot who hits the button. And that's how we've done all of our testing. So it's done correctly. And we are doing it outside of that, but the Gauss numbers are very, they're just not as important as like the range is, if that makes sense.
The deal is we're providing energy to the body. It is magnetic, so Gauss is part of what is happening. But being high powered, we're not talking 30 Gauss or 5 Gauss. We're talking hundreds or thousands of Gauss levels. But ultimately, it's energy. How much energy are you putting into the body, and that is received comfortably? And that's what we shoot for. We want to put as much energy in your shoulder as we can, or into the shoulder of the horse as we can when we're doing it, but we don't want the animal to be uncomfortable. So you can tell by looking at the eye, or you can tell if they physically walk away from you, that you're applying too much energy. So you back the energy off a little bit, but you're still putting as much as you can into the area, and you get the immediate result that you're looking for. So and also it purred not only all the surroundings that Elaine was talking about, but each device, the size of the ring, changes the amount of Gauss that's delivered into the area. As an example, the paddle produces the most Gauss when it's attached to any device that it's used on, but it doesn't feel as strong as the large loop. It's just the way it's made. It's an actual Tesla coil, and so but it's producing more energy than other coils do. And we can measure that, and we do measure and tell you which coils to use if you're dealing with the FEI and those type situations where you have a max amount of power that can be used. And a lot of times those decisions are very arbitrary. When the FEI came and said, okay, 1,000 Gauss is as strong or as much Gauss as can be delivered by a device in a particular treatment. That was an arbitrary number. Where they came up with 1,000 and not 2,000 or not 1,500 or whatever it is, they just did. And so stay within those constraints.
Yeah, the biggest problem I think that we have as PMF practitioners, as PMF advocates, manufacturers, is the lack of knowledge. Like the education part of this is so hard for people, especially regulatory bodies, veterinarians, anybody, to wrap their head around what we're doing. They just immediately assume that it's electricity, or that it's this, or that it's, they don't understand it. So they assume the worst, and they don't understand how Gauss levels work. And instead of asking, a lot of times they're just willy-nilly saying crazy things. So with that being said, they are looking at the safety of what they know. So if that matters to you, if regulatory matters to you, I 100% recommend that you go over to PEMFprofessionals.com, the AOPP, Association of PEMF Practitioners. Go, please. It's PMFprofessionals.com. There's the website right there. Please go check it out. Join them. Work on the mission. We are members. I'm 100% devoted to the fact that we need more regulatory education, and we can't do that by ourselves. So having the practitioners involved in this and understanding what's going on and being a member is going to help you when an agency that affects your business has comes up with some random number or something. Then the PMF, being a member of AOPP, will greatly help you.
I want to go back to a question. Where'd it go? I guess I'm trying to still figure out which attachment is best to use for different issues. Let me give you a little history from that perspective. When I first started, we had very powerful machines and two attachments. We had the large loop and we had the butterfly. And I kept going to the, at that time I was using a third-party manufacturer. I'd go to them and I'd say, well, people are requesting this and requesting that. So if we could have another attachment, then that would just satisfy what they're looking for. Okay, that was great. But he kept looking at me and saying, attachments. Those two attachments will do everything. And the fact is, those two attachments will do everything. Is the paddle a little stronger, a little more convenient to use in some areas? Yes. Is the mat nice that you can put it on your whole back and treat your whole back with the mat or comfortably lay on the mat? Yes. Your dog can lay on the mat, whatever the situation may be. But they're all doing the exact same thing. They're producing.
Yeah, put an attachment on it and just go, right?
Yeah. So it really doesn't make any difference. If you're treating someone's shoulder or the shoulder of the horse and you want to use the large loop, it's easy to move around. If you want to use the butterfly so you can have, see what you're doing a little easier, you can do that. But there's not a specific attachment that is required for a specific indication. Now, as things develop, we have learned there are some things that, for example, the hoof box. You put the box down, you put the paddle in the box, and you have the horse stand on it. It's giving you more energy, and it works great for that type situation. For years, I treated hoof issues with the butterfly. I'd put it over the top of the hoof, put it on for 10 minutes, treat the hoof. Had good results. Or I would lift the hoof and put it on the bottom of the foot over the horseshoe and over the shoe and treat it that fashion. And so it did the same thing and it worked. It just wasn't as convenient as the paddle.
Right. And that's really more right. That's why we've developed these attachments, right? Because it's convenient. I remember in the beginning when we only had the large loop and butterfly loop, and I almost like, Dad, you had convinced me, and we were like, no, you don't need anything else. And then we finally were like, okay, fine, we'll make some other attachments. And so, that's where all of these attachments came from, is from what the customers wanted. But I still, when we're training salespeople, I tell them to tell all of you all, anybody buying a machine, just start with the large loop and butterfly loop. First of all, it comes with the machine. The education is built around it. Once you understand the machine and you get how you're using the coils and you're getting it and you feel that confidence, that's when you start adding in other attachments, because you end up like where you are, where you're overwhelmed by the amount of attachments and when to use what. If you start with too many, and this is somebody who makes money by selling attachments telling you this, to just start with the large loop and the butterfly loop and then ease yourself in. There's no need. I think it goes both ways. Sometimes people get bigger machines than they need. That's one of the reasons we don't sell a lot of the stuff directly on our website. I'm a firm believer, and my dad's a firm believer in talking to you all and coming up with a package that actually is within your budget and within your means. And you don't need to over purchase. You do not need to get bigger is not always better. And, 20 attachments is not always better. Like, there is step-by-step ways to really grow your confidence. Okay. I use the large loop. It's the only attachment I have at home right now is a large loop.
Right.
I use
there's a question, the Maya Pro, are there attachments for the Maya Pro that meet the FEI requirements? No.
Well, the lower settings are like 1 and 2 are still under 1,000 Gauss. The problem is that even with the large loop or the XL wave wings, you could get over 1,000 Gauss on the higher settings. So they're not gonna, but they don't have any way of really measuring the Gauss. So sometimes the FEI will let you in to a show in the United States and sometimes they won't. It really depends on the vet at the show.
That is correct.
Okay, Pat, I asked this earlier, and I know it's a side note, but would love to know. Can you all share if you've had experience with Ooh, I'm going to mess this
Let
one
me
up.
go look that up. Let me.
Okay, I'll answer another question. Temporal osteoarthropathy in a horse or horses. So, Dad, you look that up, and I'll answer another question.
I'll be right back.
Okay, let's see. What is the best way to incorporate the LZR with MW? Okay, so Angel, so what I like to do is to start with the PMF, and look, I'm sure there's some practitioners are going to say it different. So what I like to do is start with the MagnaWave, do the session like, you're going down the animal or wherever you're going to put it, do a full session, and then afterwards go back and do the red light immediately afterwards for like the 1 minute or 30 seconds, depending on the LZR that you have. So, and then go, around the area. Always remember that any animal or person that has darker skin or darker hair, that LZR is actually going to absorb more. They absorb light more. So you can do less time on those people or animals that have darker skin or darker hair. Lighter skin, you can do the full session. So yeah, I like to do it right after PMF, but I do know some people who like to do it before. I think just using them at the same time is where it's at, and switching up your coils. So if you're getting on a routine of using the LZR, do the attachment, and then do the, don't always just use the large loop. Use the butterfly loop the next time, and then your LZR. That's the best way to do it.
So the temporal osteoarthropathy is the hyoid bone at the back of your tongue in your connects for the skull. It all comes to the skull. And what happens with that type of condition is you get a buildup of bone, which kind of makes joint fusion, if you will, and can occur. And so that type of situation, it's always best certainly to refer to veterinarians and to refer to doctors about what's going on. But it's as kind of like arthritis is a buildup of calcium. And so we don't cause the buildup of calcium. We don't erode the calcium that's there, but we can control the inflammation around it. We can, with better blood flow and blood oxygenation, the arthritis, the calcium is prohibited or slowed down in the development of the calcium that causes the problems. It just irritates the nerves on the body. And so that's the situation there. And this hyoid osteoarthropathy is dealing with that. And so there's a buildup of bone in the area that can cause some constriction or problems. So again, it's a conversation for a doctor, but to examine it and do a test to see if the blood circulation that is improved in the animal or in the area where this is occurring, then you can keep it from getting worse. And that's our ultimate goal, and is to let the body better do what it wants to do, because all we're doing is changing the oxygen levels and allowing the blood to flow more freely and to better do its job that it's expected to do. And so that's our goal, and that's what we're looking at. So there's some research that probably needs to be done, or discussions with doctors. We don't want to do anything to enhance the growth of that bone, if you will, or the proliferation of the bone in that area. But typically that's not what we see when we talk about those types of situations. We see an improvement in blood flow that basically helps the body do what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so we have another question here. Okay, first of all, I just want to read some good things. Hazel said, I had a rash on my arm this morning. I only had a few minutes before heading to work, so I used the LZR and the rash is gone. Game changer, yay. And another good thing that Tim said, also shout out to Michelle and support. I had an issue with my Soul Pro, blown fuse, and she had it problem solved in under a minute. I love how hands-on your support team is. Great crew you all have there. Thank you, Tim. We always like the positive things. Thank you for sharing, Hazel. Okay. What is your experience with necrotizing fasciitis? I have a client coming home today from the hospital. Skin grafts are done. What your recommendations be for? I believe that is a skin-eating bacteria or a deadly bacteria buildup. Gretchen, I would not do anything with that unless I spoke to a doctor. I mean, that flesh-eating bacteria is serious. It can cause death. I am not, and I don't believe either of us are in any way, shape, or form qualified to answer that question. Is it safe to use MagnaWave on varicose veins?
Sure. It doesn't do anything to cause issues there. But again, that's a doctor question, who your doctor is and what you're doing, if they're going to let you do that off label.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is yeah, speak to the doctor. But pain relief with PMF, it's the pain relief, and all you're doing is helping that can help there for that, because it's extremely painful. But yes, it's not dangerous.
Shannon Pulafrone writes, after 12 years, hi Shannon, we're glad you're here. I still use a large loop 90% of the time. When I treated daily, all I used was the large loop. I'd use the large loop. I would flip it around to make it smaller so I could do some different scanning and that type of stuff. But it's just that's all I had for a long time. That's what I used.
Okay, so somebody asked quickly, let's see. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, so they're talking about the LZR and that they use it on base. Is it safe to use anywhere and use it on people? I think the main thing with the LZR, there is a great website. I will try to find it while we're on this live and post it. But really, the main thing is you don't want to use it on anyone that may have any type of like skin cancer. Like if they have sensitivity to light, that is extremely important that they don't use it. But I like whoever Hazel, I believe, was talking. I use it on myself and my children as well. So as long as they don't have that sensitivity to light, and there are some warnings, there's a paper that comes with the LZR that explains like anything that you shouldn't use it on. Anybody that has any type of like ongoing like molds or anything that they are getting looked at, you need to make sure you're under care of a physician.
Absolutely.
Katie says, allergy season has been bad up here. I've been loving using my LZR and small butterfly loops around my sinuses, minimize my symptoms. Thank you. I've noticed the LZR with the sinuses is amazing. Amazing. Okay. Would the business starter class be beneficial for someone that has gone full time but is interested in reaching new customers? Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, Misty. I would also look into doing my business builder course, which is in the fall. And that's more like it's 6 weeks, and we really go into like how to reach more people. You can always reach out to support and schedule a call with me if you want on my Calendly, and we can like talk it out for a few minutes and see if there's any ideas that we could just give you over the phone. Let's see. There's so many. Everybody wants to win this Spiro, Dad. This is like the most we have. Spiro Quick, like y'all are motivated. This is the most engagement we've ever had on a thing, on a live ever. Okay. There's so much stuff. Let's see. I'm looking.
I've got a real long question here I'm reading. I'm going to read it and maybe get an answer.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. You guys are great. Okay. So I'll just talk about a couple other things that we have going on. So if you haven't noticed that the Soul Pro has changed cases, it's on our website. Check it out. There's going to be an upgrade to the Soul Pro where you can purchase all-terrain wheels that come and go. That is the new case on the Soul Pro. We are also there's something else. We have the Spiro Click. We have the Maya Pro. Several people have asked me about the Maya Pro having all-terrain wheels. That will be coming out, but it won't be for a while. It could be months. Maybe even the beginning of next year. But as always, we do have trade-in programs. So if you are interested in getting a Maya Pro now, and then like when the new one comes out, like doing a trade-in where then you can get the newer one, that's absolutely an option. Winning anything is good, but winning anytime, let's see.
Okay, I'm ready when you.
Okay, go ahead.
Tim asked a question in dealing with sciatica, and he describes in the question, I'm sure everybody can read it, what his procedures are, that he's trying to help a friend of his to feel better. And the only thing that I would suggest that you would do differently, Tim, is, and what I've used when the sciatica bothers me, is I'll actually put my leg through the loop and bring it up and let the loop wrap around the top of my leg, in front of my groin area, and then but it also gets the back, and so we're radiating the signal up and down the leg basically, and that's where the sciatica becomes a problem as the tendons and everything moves through the pelvis. There's just a small area that most of the nerves and everything has to go through then to begin going down your leg. And so that's where a lot, as you get some inflammation in there, that's where the pain comes from. And then it radiates down the leg or up the back, however it's going as to what you're doing. So I would do that. I would also look at how the gentleman drives his car. Is he reclining at all in the seat or sitting straight up? Look at those types of situations. I've found that if I recline my seat just a little bit and bring it back so my leg is a bit stretched towards the pedal, it relieves my driving experience tremendously when I'm in the smaller car. When I'm in my larger car, that's not an issue. But that check seating positions at home, so he's not doing anything to further aggravate those muscles.
That's great. Okay, so we have lots of questions here. One of them was Michelle asked if she could just get the saddle pack for the Spiro Click. If you already have purchased a Spiro from us, then you can purchase just the saddle bag with the
wings.
Yeah, the wings and the power pack and all that. So all of that, yes, you can purchase that. Reach out to your product specialist for that information, or email sales@magnawavepmf.com, or call us at 1-833-MagnaWave. So I'm doing a session on a 21-year-old Frisian with a history of a stroke. Anything special to do for her?
Well, with a stroke, certainly, or those types of brain issues, rapidly you get to it, the better result that you're likely to encounter and have. But at the same time, we once had worked with the university hospital to where there was a gentleman who had a stroke, and the hospital wanted us to, he had aphasia where he could not make sentences, and he would struggle for words. And so, and the university took him as far as they could. They knew him and he wanted to do more. And they contacted us and said, okay, will you treat this gentleman? Let's see what we get. And we were able to improve his speech by 30 to 40% over a 6-month period that he maintained for several years, actually. And so it helped him a lot. He became to where he could make sentences and do things and follow conversations more easily, and have words that he could say without reaching for them each time, like thank you. If he'd go to the store and he'd want to pay for something, he'd struggle to say thank you, but it got to the point that he could thank you very much, or please this, or this please. So he had things that he could do, and the university was very pleased. We were very pleased, and this was 5 years after the stroke, but he still saw some improvement in those areas. Again, you always want to work with the doctor if you're doing something like that, to make sure that you're within the legal aspects and the safe aspects of what you're doing. But that's what we did. So in many cases like this, again, it's just circulation to the area that's needed to help the body better heal itself.
Great. Someone asked, what about horses with scratches? If you are that person, if you are commenting on Facebook, please write your name at the end, because if you are the person that we picked to win, we want to know your name. So anybody who's writing on there, but scratches, if you are putting like an antifungal on that, or some type of ointment from the doctor to relieve that, then what you would want to do is put that on and then use the PMF over it. So to help with the absorption of that antifungal, antimicrobial ointment on the area where the scratches are, and then treat. It will help. It will help. That will help a ton. So many questions. I love my Soul Pro, doing lots of demos. Let's see. So for the business builder class, if you are interested, please go into the certification portal. In the practitioner portal on the website. I believe that you can fill out a form to get the latest information emailed and texted directly to you when we launch the dates for that class. And several people are asking if they can purchase the Soul Pro wheels separately. The new Soul Pro case has little bitty wheels on it. I think I have one right here. Oh, I do. It actually is just the case, so it's lighter weight. But see, so that comes with the Soul Pro. The actual there will be an all-terrain attachment that you can click on there for purchase, available soon.
Can you use PEMF on a horse that has maggots in the foot, medical magnets, eating infection?
Magnets or maggots?
maggots. So I'm gathering that they put the maggots on there to consume the infection to help get rid of it. I would clear that with a veterinarian. Would it hurt the maggots if they're there to do a job? No. Will it help the pain and the circulation in the area? Yes. So it's something that could certainly be approached. But I would again make sure that you discuss that with the veterinarian in charge of that animal, or the veterinarian dealing with that animal, so you can work out a good game plan to approach it.
Wow. I just Googled that. That is something I didn't want to see. Okay.
Never mind.
My whole day is just different. Okay. Using the LZR with a glaucoma patient, he is working with specialists as a case study. Pressure is lowering. Fantastic. Yay. Judy just shared that. So that's awesome. What are your recommendations for cleaning the fan covers on the Julian Duo? Blowing them out, depending on the year your Julian Duo is, I hesitate to even say this. There is a way that you can get a filter to put in there, but really if you blow it out, even there might be a little bit of dust, it's fine. When it comes back in for its maintenance sessions we will replace those filters. So I would not mess with your machine. If it gets blocked or any type of way, email us at support, send us some pictures, and we'll walk you through the correct way to take care of your specific unit.
Basically, you want to blow it out or vacuum it off. And pull the dust out of it. More dust is going to try to go right back in. So the appearance is not the key. The key is to pull it out, either vacuum it out or blow it in, and then the exit holes as it works.
Okay. My dad has neuropathy from diabetes, as well as very poor circulation in his legs. He has had procedures to open up arteries for better circulation, but is still having problems. Is there a procedure I could follow to try to help him? Michelle, I would recommend a couple of things. As we have the Nova HD, which is our human use device that we are selling. I would recommend something like that. And again, talking to his doctor. We do use the Nova HD at the Wellness Club for very similar symptoms as this. As long as your dad doesn't have any type of restrictions on his movement, like if he's allowed to walk, if he's allowed to run, if he's allowed to do stuff, most of the time it's okay to use the machines on him, to use the Nova. But we've seen amazing results with the LZR and the Nova for neuropathy. Incredible. But again, I would speak to a doctor because he seems like a very extreme case. MagnaWave on rotator cuff injuries. Yes. Do it. Just do it.
If there's an issue there and there's inflammation as a result of the injury and the doctor's not ready to do surgery, or if they don't think surgery is going to be required, but the pain is there, certainly you want to improve the circulation, which will help reduce the inflammation, which will help relieve the pain.
Yeah, exactly. So Gretchen asked, would we consider selling additional filters? We did. We used to do that, but it became a problem because oh gosh, I'm going to be very nice. People don't read things and instructions. And so we had too many people damaging their machines because they weren't following the protocol on how to actually replace the filters, the instructions. So we just felt it was better if we do that. So yes, we did. We tried it. It didn't work out. It ended up just costing everybody more money to try to get it back here and get it fixed. People were trying to take the screws out to try to do it. It was, we had to stop.
Again, people are looking at the filter looks dirty. Vacuum the filter out as best you can, and you've removed most of the problem, and it's doing its job by getting dirty and not getting the inside, keeping things out of the machine. Just vacuum it off, or use a blower and blow it off, and you've got the 90% of the dust off, and so away you go. It may not look as you want it to look, but that's just the best way to approach it.
Kendra asked,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry I interrupted you. I thought you were done.
Could the LZR stimulate hair growth? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, it does. That's the truth. It does. I've seen it do amazing things with hair growth. It helps with weight loss. It helps with just getting your lymphatic system. Why can't I think of that word? Lymphatic system. Oh gosh,
Correct. Correct. Working pinched nerve in the back, any suggestions? Well, the situation is if it's pinched and you cannot be relieved, I've treated horses over the years that all of a sudden we'll hear a snap and the nerve, enough inflammation comes out of the nerve that it's able to snap back in place where it's supposed to be, traveling near the bone or through wherever its course of action is. And so you can get some relief there. And the main thing is to try to relieve the inflammation. Why it's pinched or what's going on, if that's an anatomical situation, then maybe we can't change the anatomical situation. But certainly you can maybe get some relief there. Always remember to treat it. It's kind of like an accident. The pain is where the pinch is, but you also have a lot of referred things going on. So we learned this when we started thinking about treating the fascia or how the fascia works. We would treat an area of muscle, but we didn't go down to where the fascia connected to the knee, if you will. And so the inflammation was still there. We got rid of the inflammation where the pain was or where they were having the issue. But then as soon as we stopped, the fascia that below that was still inflamed began to creep back up. That's why we do full body. Or if you're treating a leg, you do full leg. You're treating an arm, you do try to do full arm at some point. So you treat the inflammation that's in the fascia at the same time as you're treating the area of pain. And so that's the way when you're going to do a nerve, you want to treat the whole area, not just where the particular pinch is, if you know where that is. And you can probably find that by scanning. But that's the situation there. Can it be beneficial? Yes. If you can't get it to pop back in place, that's a chiropractic issue. That's a veterinarian issue. They probably understand that and the best way to approach it. But you can provide some relief to the animal.
Okay, we're almost done here, guys. So we're gonna have to pick a number soon. A lot of people think they need to see a lot of body movement while receiving a session on a horse. I explain more isn't always better. Can you expand, please? I actually just did a video on this, Kendra, the other day. It's actually on our Facebook page, but I will do it again right now. So one of the things to keep in mind is you do not need to create movement. The way that we teach and we explain in our certification is you want to find the areas of sensitivity by being on a lower session. And then if movement comes in those areas when you are on those lower sessions, somewhere between 1 and 4 on most machines, that's where you know that there are areas of sensitivity. You can turn the machine up and create movement, but that's not showing you where the areas of sensitivity are. And it's not necessarily doing anything more than putting more energy in that the animal doesn't need. Like my dad said at the beginning of the program, we're putting energy into the body. There's no need to push it in and shove it in and for it to be this movement. You can create movement. Movement can be there, but you don't need to do that to get results. It is not necessary. That is something that a lot of people who don't pay attention or understand how the machines work, they don't get that. They want to turn it up and they think that that's the way to get results. And they probably do get results, but that's not needed to get results. You want
Correct.
to expand on that?
No, that's fine. That's good. Is there a documentation on PEMF that can be provided to an oncologist and patient? Around the world, PEMF in many areas is mainline medicine, and PEMF is used for tumors and so forth. The United States is a bit different because we have to have FDA clearances and approvals. There is a device approved that is a magnetic device, a PEMF device. It's called Optune, O-P-T-U-N-E, I believe is the correct spelling, and it's used for glioblastoma brain tumors. And it does not kill the brain tumor. It does not remove the brain tumor, but it slows the growth of the brain tumor, makes the life, gives a better quality of life, and it's been very beneficial in those areas. That is a device that you can mention to a doctor if they're wanting to understand how they might want to use the device for a tumor situation or whatever. So there are some cleared devices, PEMF devices for cancer types of treatments, and it's called the Optune. So that would be something to share with the doctor. We really cannot publish anything to that point because we're not cleared to do that or to say that. As we go down the road and get our devices cleared, we will add indications that they can be used upon. There are some, if you go to the MagnaWave education and research Facebook group and search various topics, you can find how the device has been used by veterinarians in those areas of treatment and how they and the results that they've received, and it's very promising. Hope that helps.
Yeah, and if you go to the AOPP, pmfprofessionals.com, there is a lot of research there on cancer, and I am sending Tony a study actually that I just found on PMF, and a study that was just recently done that had very good results with PMF and cancer that Lauren just put on the AOPP. So I shared it because for some reason I can't comment. I don't know why, what's going on, but I asked Tony to put that to comment that for you, Kathy.
Couple quick suggestions here. So once you find movement, do you turn the machine up or continue on a low setting? You can turn the machine up to maybe get a little deeper, provide more energy to the area, but it's all based on comfort. As long as the animal is comfortable with what you're doing, turn the machine up a little bit and get better penetration and more energy and better circulation to the area. You don't have to stay at the low setting to do the treatment. What is the recommendation for sessions for depression? When we're dealing with horses that get depressed or not paying attention to what you're trying to tell them to do, we treat the pole. We put the coil on the pole, on the top of the head, on a very low setting, and you'll see their head drop. You'll see them relax. And next thing you know, when you take them to the ring, the story I always tell, I had $1 million horse, would not go to the ring and perform, did fine in the warm-up, was ready to go. As soon as they went into the ring, the horse would freeze up. I said, treat the pole. They called me. The horse is not reacting. I asked them if they were treating the pole, and they said no. I said, please treat the pole for 5 or 10 minutes on a low, comfortable setting. Do that 2 or 3 times before this weekend's Grand Prix, and let's see what happens. The horse went out and won a $100,000 Grand Prix that weekend. So the depression state of the horse was dealt with by simply putting the coil near the area, providing some energy to the area on a low setting, and the results were very favorable. And we see that in many different types of clients.
Yeah, thank you. Good. Kendra said, can we make our own hoof bucks and put the butterfly or large loop inside it? Kendra Brown. Kendra, first of all, the large loop could just lay on the ground and you could put the hoof in it. The strongest point of the coil is in the middle of that circle. So you could just have them stand in the middle. I would not recommend doing one with the butterfly loop. We've tried that. They're not sturdy. It has to be so high. You could damage your loop and you could cause some injury to the animal. So no, I mean, there's a reason that we didn't use the large loop and a butterfly loop. And that's because they're not flat. They're not consistent all the way through. So if I were you, I would just get a Zoom box with the paddle. That is definitely, we test these things. We use them so that we are providing them to hold up and be sturdy for you to actually put an animal's hoof on. Let's see. I ended my horse's session with the butterfly on his pole and his face was so low he almost touched the ground. Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it? Okay, so Dad, do you want to pick a number?
Pick a number. Man, we got a bunch. We need I want to do a high number or a low number. I don't want, Jiminy Christmas. How do you pick a number with this?
Jiminy Christmas. Any number, just pick a number.
100.
100. Okay. So Tony, if you guys could go through and count to 100 on our page, and then that person is going to win the Sphero Click today. Will the large loop survive if stepped on, Michelle? Maybe. That's why.
Yeah, we've had plenty of horses step on large loops, and you will know if it pierces the main cable of the loop, you'll hear a clicking or a sparking, and it's damaged. But if they step on the hose or something like that, you can visually examine it to see if there is an issue. That is, however, why we recommend treating on dirt or grass or in a stall, not on a concrete surface, for several reasons, but that's our feeling.
Yeah, and I actually had someone tell me that they believe that the copper was melting inside, and I want to be very clear, that is impossible. So the copper does not melt. If your coil is breaking, if that copper in there is stepped on, eventually, or most of the time, it's the way that you roll them up over and over and over again. So that copper gets a break, and there is electric signal that's going through those pieces of copper. So the electricity jumps to the next piece of copper, so it'll make like a little burn mark. That is nothing. That copper does not melt. That is just broken copper. There's The coil cannot be fixed at that point. If it breaks at the ends, we can put new attachments, but the coil, so yes, most coils can get stepped on all the time, but yes, sometimes if they get stepped on the right way, it can cause a problem.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, you got a 1,000-pound horse wearing a metal shoe, and it steps on, and it's on concrete, and it steps on the coil, and it presses hard or stomps on the coil. You can damage the cable that's in the coil and have a, as she pointed out, a sparking type situation. But as a rule, that does not occur easily.
Yeah, and I've never. I mean, if it happens, it's usually just from damage. I mean, and that's part of the game when you're dealing with big animals, you know. Okay, I'm waiting to see here.
Somebody gonna be a wiener.
Somebody's gonna be in a big wiener. Who's gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Let's see. Okay, ready? Here we go. Yeah. I got it. I'm gonna murder this last name. The winner is Jeannie Holiska.
That's it. Holiska.
Jeannie Holiska. Congratulations. Is she here? Are you on? J-E-A. Am I saying that name right? Jeanne. Jeannie Holiska. Jeannie, if you're with us, you just want a Spiro, click. Yay! $5,950. That's wonderful. Yay. Okay. So if
How
you
much
are,
did we just give away?
Yeah, $5,950.
$5,000.
Your idea. You said it was.
Hell, I got to go back to work.
Hopefully Jeannie likes it. Jeannie, so Jeannie, somebody will be contacting you. Hopefully you're still here. I don't know if you are, but hopefully you are. What we're going to do is we're going to have somebody try to reach out to you either on social media, because I don't know if you're not in our system, or if you are, to get your address and get you all set up, and it'll ship here shortly. Congratulations. Yay. I don't know. She hasn't commented yet. Maybe she doesn't know. Somebody tag Jeannie Holiska in the video and let her know she just won. Woohoo! Somebody wrote. Maybe that's her. I don't know. But congratulations. Dad, when's our next office hours? Let's look.
In June.
Well,
June
yeah.
what?
Let's see. I believe it's the 13th. Maybe. Hold on. Nope, it's June 6th.
Okay.
June 6th, the first Tuesday in June, we will be having office hours. Oh, congratulations, Jeannie. Oh, we are so sorry. My phone just started going off when I looked that up. We are so happy to see you guys. Do you have anything else you want to add, Dad?
I think we're good. All
right, go get your Spiro Click. They're available now, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for being here. Wave on to better health and go all the way with MagnaWave. See ya.